will try to go through these as quick as possible. Next slide, please. I won't introduce myself because Rachel has done that. So for a brief background, for those who don't know what we do, Journalism AI is a small project doing a lot of work around the world where we try to empower news organizations to use artificial intelligence responsibly. Next slide. And how do we do that? So we do that through training and capacity building for news organizations to make sure that, or at least we try to make sure the potential of AI is more accessible to counter inequalities in global news media. So we do that through training and research, and I'm going to go through a couple of the programs that we have, which are mainly geared towards practicing journalists rather than students, and we build on what a lot of my colleagues have spoken about already. Next slide. So one of the programs that we launched about 2 years ago is called Discovery. It's a self-paced online course across 6 weeks. Since then, we've had a couple of iterations in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic. And we've had over 10,000 journalists, students, educators, editors from over 120 countries having signed up for the course. In this particular program, is an introductory course, and so we look at sort of the introductory levels theory of AI. So the modules here would include how AI is used currently in journalism, looking at various definitions of what AI is, RAG, generative AI, etc., and then looking at where it all starts, and that's with data. And so we'll have a module on that, and then following that, we'll look at practical ways of how people could begin starting their own AI journalism projects. We'll look at the successes and pitfalls of how AI has been used both good and bad in newsrooms, and then we'll look at new frontiers and evolving areas of where possibly AI could be going in future. Next slide, please. Next program, which is sort of a level up from the Discovery, is called the Academy. We previously called this the Academy for Small Newsrooms, and mainly was to support journalists working within newsrooms to help them implement AI strategy within their organizations. So this was an 8-week intensive course where we bring on experts from various newsrooms around the world, and they taught the different modules. And so the difference between the Academy and the Discovery is that the Academy is a self-paced course that you received through a newsletter in your inbox, and you learned at your own pace. We also had a global Slack classroom where participants could ask questions to the course developer, whereas the Academy, we only select 20 participants at a time per region. So we work across regions, and it's just to make it more intimate, and the participants will go through several modules, helping them to understand how to integrate AI practically in the newsrooms. And so sort of the structure of the modules that would go through on this program is giving an understanding of AI and its applications. So looking at natural language processing, natural language generation, and how participants could use AI in the newsrooms, by analyzing various case studies that have been done before. And then we'll look more deeply into data technology, whereas on the Discovery, it's more theoretical. Here, it's more practical in finding ways of how to use structured and unstructured data, the tech infrastructure that can be used to support journalists within the newsrooms in adopting AI, looking at data privacy and security concerns when it comes to using data and various technologies for the newsrooms. The third module here that we changed when generative AI came to the fore was including a module on generative AI, looking at some of the best use cases from around the world. And then, of course, key is looking at the risks and concerns in implementing AI in the newsroom, such as bias, accountability, transparency. We look at ethical considerations and strategies that could mitigate potential harms of using AI. And then finally, the fifth module on this program would be ideation to implementation. And the idea is to explore different possibilities and scenarios where AI can be applied to journalism. And we do this through brainstorming sessions and group exercises where participants will develop new ideas for AI tools that can enhance and support their journalistic work. And so the beauty of the Academy is that only 20 participants at a time. It's regional, and the idea behind it is that people are able to learn from other newsrooms from their region, because what we found was the challenges are often diverse when it's different regions, and so when they're in one region, they're able to sort of quickly learn from each other. Next slide. One of the sort of main programs that we've also done is called the fellowship program. So we're moving on from training to experimentation, where with the fellowship, we bring in a technologist and an editorial person. They team up together to team up with 2 or 3 other news organizations. And the idea is for them to come up with new AI solutions for their work in the newsrooms. We've run various cohorts for these, and people have sort of implemented some of the experimentation that they've gotten done on the program. Next slide, please. And then one of the newest programs we did, and this we took from learnings from all the previous programs we've done, was to give out grants to news organizations to experiment further. With AI, we created 3 thematic areas where journalists or news organizations could work on. And here specifically, we worked with small news organizations because we realized that a lot of them do not have the resources to implement some of these AI technologies. Next slide, please. One new program that we launched this year is the Skills Lab, and this was based off the learnings and feedback received from the fellowship program, where we often saw that the editorial folks were not as technologically equipped to participate on the fellowship. They would often take the back seat while the technical person did a lot of the work on the program. And so the Skills Lab is mainly to upskill editorial folks to get a bit of knowledge on how to practically implement LLMs and Gen AI in their work. And so basically when the program begins later this year, we'll do a bit of Python training, intro to practical LLMs training, advanced prompt engineering. We'll look at RAG, Gradio and Streamlit, and we'll sort of try to put that all together and get the participants to come up with their own AI tool that they could use in the newsrooms. Like the Academy, we keep it small, 20 participants to make it more interactive, and then we give them a bit of a stipend so they could build on those tools. Next slide, please. And then, of course, what we also do is from all these trainings and experimentations, we put together articles that become resources for other people who are unable to participate on the programs. So on our website, journalismai.info, you'll find over 6 years of content and learnings from a lot of these journalists and all our training programs. Next slide, please. And of course, part of the work that we do is learning from these news organizations. And so we've collected a lot of this training and research, and we put it together into a report that we do every 3 or so years. And we try to make sure that it's also accessible in other languages as well for journalists around the world. Next one, please. Next slide. And of course, yeah, part of the work is the resources. We can jump to the next one that people or journalists can access on our website. We've collated a database of 200 real-life curated case studies of how newsrooms are using AI. And these are crowdsourced, and we try sort of update this as regularly as possible. You can move on to the next one. We also do this, share additional other resources through our newsletter. We try to send it out monthly, but sometimes it's twice or 3 times a month, where we collate other sort of important updates on AI that could be beneficial to both people in academia, but also within newsrooms as well. Next slide, please. And then, of course, I think 2-3 years ago, we created a Slack community to extend the sort of the interaction. We did not want this process to be a top-down approach, and so through the Slack community, we are able to get people to talk to each other rather than people talking through us. And this community has grown to 2,000 members. And yeah, we sort of are intentional about who comes into the community and what they share as well. So this is a space for people trying to learn and build on their knowledge on AI. Next one, please. And then, of course, all this work culminates in our annual gathering called the Journalism AI Festival, where we get to share sort of some of the best practices and examples of AI use case studies. We have panels, workshops that we share, and currently we have a YouTube channel where you can access all these resources. So it's both participants on our programs, but also other people from other various newsrooms who haven't participated on our programs. Next slide, please. And of course, one of the new things we also did, I think last year, was to extend the work that we do through other people. And so we built a directory for people to access AI trainers, consultants that could support them in their work, rather than us as Journalism AI being the only platform or only organization that people could find. And so this is one of the things we did with ICFJ. Next slide, please. And of course, we've got the starter pack. It's a Word document where we've tried to put the basics of a sort of a step-by-step guide on how to implement AI. You can access that anytime from the website. We try to update that as regularly as possible. Next slide, please. And then, of course, finally, we have an hour-long introduction machine learning course that people can take as well. That can also be found on the website, and then a 45-minute hands-on machine learning course that one can also do. I think there's one more slide, I can't remember. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so you can find all these resources on our website, and also we're open to chatting to anybody who needs further support with this. Thank you so much, Rachel.